welcome to Scale Casting Programs. My name is George and I think it was time to introduce myself. I've been into RC for the past almost 2 years. During the first lockdown of quarantine and COVID spread out, I bought my first kit. I started with some WPL models. It was cheap enough and I was not sure if I'm getting into it and continue this hobby, so I guess I started cheap. But if you're familiar with what I'm doing, probably you know my builds and how passionate I am for the hard bodies, specifically for this small scale. My first RC was in 95-96, a Tamiya Manta Ray. It was a present from my dad. I was, I think, like 7 years old. I loved it, but I think I didn't have the patience at that age. So I'm happy enough that I started this hobby at 34, 35 years old. So it fills me with some kind of peace when I'm building, when I'm trying to film. Also, I started a few new hobbies such as making videos or making some photos. I am no professional, but I am an amateur, but I'm trying to do it as good as possible. So right now I am on my vacations. This is the third day. I'm in Pilion, Greece. I just love this place. You have probably the greenest place in Greece right now and very close to the sea. Of course, I brought few of my toys with me, and I think today I'm gonna introduce you properly for the red Rusty and the yellow MELLOW. So here is red Rusty. This is my first ever build. Actually, my first ever was the yellow, was the plastic kit from WPL. It was fun to make, but I wanted something more hobby grade, so I immediately brought a WPL C44, and this is what I came up with. As I told you before, this was a build during quarantine, so I didn't have lots of materials to get. So I started to use anything that I had in-house. I used the beer can to make the fenders. I glued a plastic rib so I could attach it. Instead of using styrene, I had few plastic DVD boxes. So I started experimenting with, and you can see I made this box. I'm hiding a Hobby Wing 1060 inside, so as the flatbed was made from it. The rear bumper is from the C34 one, and I chopped it and also put some red LED buckets there. I am hiding my receiver inside this homemade box that I made to look as a fuel cell. The fenders were made again from a plastic that I used as a rib, and a beer can that I'm folding twice and glued also, and it gave a very nice feel of something used. The paint was my first actual attempt to patina. You can find lots of guides online, so you can really make it as your own as you wish. I think I really loved the outcome. The snorkel is made again from some plastic waste that I had in house. Specifically, it was the plastic that attaches all the plastic parts from some kits. The upper part is a cap from a glue, and that's it. Also, I wanted to utilize the receiver lights. I glued the plastic tape, transparent, that I painted black and then scratched it to look as gauges. The box was made from an old DVD cable that I cut in half and of course painted to the red Rusty theme. The chassis is stock. I didn't make any adjustments on this one except of that I extended the links as much as I could, so it's slightly stretched, and that's it. The rear suspension is angled. I'm using some shock absorbers that you can find online. They're very cheap. We've got lights front and back, and the rims are 3D printed from a friend. The main idea when I started making Red Rusty was to being able to bring it back to stock if I want it. Of course it will never be. She is what it is and she's gonna stay as is. This is the model that started in it all, and let's continue to the next one. This is Mellow Yellow. This is a C34 KM kit. My friend from C44 Garage gave this model a name. It's called Mellow Yellow. To be honest guys, this build is dedicated to all of you. I just wanted to upload one video, and for the past almost 2 years it's something constant. I'm trying to. I also have a day job, so it's kinda hard. I'm not getting paid by the YouTube or anything. I don't getting anything, so it's everything from me. And the most precious thing that I don't have, unfortunately, it's time. I'm using rear C44 km links to stretch the wheelbase as much as I could. And also I'm using a C44 rear drive shaft. Wheels and tires are 1.55 inch for 110 scale. I brought these from AliExpress from Injora store. They're still beadlocks with All-Star Hobby tires, again 1.55. To mount these wheels and tires you will need 5mm to 12mm brass adapter. Inside the fuel box that I made custom from plastic, again that I had around, it's not styrene. And as you can see, we have a 1060 hobby wing inside. I am using the metal trusses from WPL. The cage was braced. This is my first attempt to brace anything. I used some electric cable, 3mm. Just because it was a cable, I had to strengthen it with a hammer and then to brace it, so you can see that it's not exactly straight, but as a first attempt, I'm happy enough. And again, this was the whole concept of the truck, to feel completely used. The taillights are the markers from the C34 or 44. The Land Cruiser had the fenders and the markers on top, but as you can see, I'm trimmed everything. I trimmed a lot from the back also. C44 drive shaft with C44 links to stretch it as much as I could. This one I think is also longer than the C44. The snorkel was made from few plastic straws, and the WPL snorkel for the C24, 24-1 and C14.